Good evening. Welcome to Queen of the Classroom. I'm your lovely host, EQ Education Queen, and this week was so good. It was so good for a number of reasons. One, celebrate my daughter's birthday. You can see the happy birthday sign behind me. We got some beautiful henna to celebrate. Did a whole bunch of other things too. And then another highlight, I got to hang out with friends. It was, it just fills your bucket when you get some quality time with friends. And third, I got to talk to my Suzanne. And my Suzanne is my therapist, and I've been with her for over a year. Love, love, love her. And she just returned from maternity leave. So it's been a hot minute since I've gotten to talk to her. And each time that I talk to her, I just feel so good. I feel really empowered, feel strong. It's not that I don't feel those things without her, but it's always good to have a check-in to make sure that I am still building in the strategies that we've come up with. And one of the things that we had mentioned prompted me to talk more about it for the podcast. And what further validated it was after I had my talk with Suzanne a couple days later, myself and a colleague were talking about the same exact thing. So I was like, okay, I have to mention this on the podcast this week, because if this is reaching people within a day or two from me even talking about it with my therapist, then maybe it can help others too. So here's what it is. It's this concept of seeking therapy, seeking mental health support prior to a crisis. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to give you an analogy. So let's imagine your house is on fire, but you haven't done anything to help prevent the fire. You haven't gotten a fire extinguisher. You don't have fire alarms. You're not set up to tackle this fire. You're not capable of tackling this fire. So house is gone. Gone. The fire will eventually go out because it'll stop burning things. So it'll eventually go out. But everything's gone. Think of that with therapy. You hit up a crisis and you have not built any skills for how to combat that. It will engulf you. And yes, that fire will eventually go out. Yes, that problem will subside. But you lose a lot in the process. So, the key to that is preparation. Let's go back to the house on fire. The house is on fire, but you have bought fire alarms, fire extinguishers. You know how to put out a fire quickly. You have fire retardant near you. You are so ready. Fire department on speed dial kind of action. Like, you are ready. So when that fire comes, it is contained. You are capable of putting it out, and it might damage a little bit of your items, but it doesn't engulf you. Same thing with therapy. A crisis happens, but you have built in strategies to combat the crisis. You have coping mechanisms. You have phrases you can say to yourself to help put you back in a safe, calm space. You have friends and family who you have entrusted. You have your outlets in order to combat the crisis. So when that crisis happens, and there's always a crisis that's going to happen, but when that crisis occurs, you can contain it, you can beat it, and it doesn't engulf you. Seeking therapy before a crisis is key. Now, I haven't had some huge crisis happen in my world. I mean, I've had some mountains, I've had some valleys, I've had the Great Plains. I'll just go with all the geographic locations. But because I've had Suzanne prior to those, I am so much more centered as a person. I am more calm. I am more prepared. I feel ready to battle anything. And that's because I saw her before. I sought her out before. Now, I'm not saying the crisis already happened, I'm too late. No, you can still go seek a therapist, someone that you trust. I would highly recommend vetting a ton of them and finding the one that fits you and your personality best. But you can always do that after the crisis. But the point of therapy is to prevent the crisis. The point of therapy and preparation is to build up your core, who you are as a person at the core level, that no one can shake that. No one can break that barrier. And for me, yes, I still have triggers. I still have things that hit me a little harder and I never expected it to. Circumstances that come up where I'm like, ooh, I thought I was over that, but I guess I'm not, because here's what's happening. But I can recognize it. I can put myself back in a safe spot, and I'm able to recenter quickly. But that's because I've built in those strategies, and those strategies are different for everybody. So the point of today is just to tell you that when you're physically ill, you go to a doctor. When you are mentally ill, you go to a doctor. But what if you didn't have to get to the I'm hurting and I'm ill part? I want you to be able to prevent that. And you can with preparation. You can with support. You can with someone helping you who's a trained professional to help you build strategies within yourself to make you a stronger person. And I want that for you. I want that for everybody. So if you want more information on this, I did a really long podcast on this with a mental health professional, another Suzanne, not my Suzanne, but a different Suzanne. And it was, I think, 45 minutes or so. And I will link that down below if you want a longer version. She focused it on stress and anxiety in teens. And so her and I's discussion was beautiful. A lot of different strengths, a lot of different strategies, a lot of different coping mechanisms. So if you want that, I'll tag it down below. And I hope that you make it a great day. I hope you make smart choices and be kind to one another. Be kind to yourself. If you need me, I'm here. Bye.